Hello friends, I am Sonali Mate. I welcomes you all for the discussion on a topic that is worm gears from Design of Machine Elements 2. So the objective set for this video is to understand the basic of worm drives, to study the terminology of worm gears. Now gears are classified into four basic types, that is spur, helical, bevel and worm gears. So spur and helical gears are used to transmit power between two parallel shafts. At low speed we are preferring for spur gear and at high speed we are preferring for helical gears. Talking about bevel gears, we are using it to transmit the power in a perpendicular directions with the intersecting shafts. And in worm gear drives, we are using it to transmit the power between two non-intersecting shafts. They are generally at right angles. So now worm gear drives, it consists of worm wheel and worm gear. Worm wheel and worm. So this is worm and this is worm wheel. These are the two shafts which are non-intersecting and perpendicular to each other. Worm is basically a threaded screw and worm wheel is a tooth gear. In the diagram you can see these are the threads on the worm and these are the tooths on the gear. Now when this teeth on the worm wheel meshes with the thread on the worm, the line contact is formed in between two. Advantages, talking about advantages, it gives high speed reduction. In single gear pair, it can be obtained as 100:1. So as compared to other drives, high speed reduction is there in case of worm gear drive. Because in spur, helical and bevel, in a single gear pair or in a single stage, reduction ratio obtained is 6:1. So to increase the reduction ratio, we have to go for multi-stages. That is no need in case of worm gear. You are getting 100:1 in single gear pair only. So this is the main basic advantage of worm gear drive. Second, compact in size. As the size of worm is small, so the drive is compact. Operation is smooth and silent. And the main advantage is self-locking property. That is, worm can easily turn the worm wheel, but the worm wheel cannot turn the worm. It means power is transmitted, or you can say simply one direction transmission is obtained and reverse direction is not possible. Then disadvantages: low efficiency. Efficiency of gear drive is low as compared to spur, helical, bevel. High cost. Why? Because worm wheel is made up of phosphorus bronze and the cost of phosphorus bronze is high. So it increases the cost of drive. High heat generation. So heat generation problem is seen more in case of worm gear drive as compared to spur, helical and bevel. This increases the use of lubricating oils and also fins are required. Fins are nothing but the extra solid part added on the surface of the added on the casing of the gearbox in order to transmit the power from gearbox to surrounding. So the use of lubricating oil, extra use of lubricating oil and the fins require the cost of the gearbox. And low power transmitting capacity. Another is low power transmitting capacity. So this worm gear drive can transmit power up to 100 kilowatt, whereas other gear drives can transmit power up to higher ranges. So the application of worm gear drives are crane, hoist, lift, where self-locking property and high reduction ratio is needed. Then types of worm. Now there are two types of worm: single threaded worm and multi-threaded worm. So single threaded worm gives you high speed reduction and low efficiency, whereas multi-threaded worm gives you low speed reduction and high efficiency. How we will see. Now in single threaded worm, or it is also called as a single start worm, in that single start is provided to worm, whereas you can see now when thread start it moves, or this is a path which is generated by this single threaded worm. Now in case of double threaded, here you can see this how is the path, and at the same time simultaneously this will be the another path of the other thread. So there are two start provided over here. So what means, now when we are talking about single start, it means at a time only one tooth on a worm wheel is engaged with the worm, or you can say when worm is rotating or worm is completing one revolution, worm wheel proceeds by one tooth. Whereas in case of double start, when the worm is completing one revolution, at that time worm wheel will proceed by two tooth. So you can imagine when we are talking about single start, in that case, if suppose your worm wheel is having 50 number of teeth, then in that case your speed ratio will be 50:1. Whereas when we are talking about double start, in that case with the same number of teeth, it will be 50:2. It means 25 will be your speed ratio. So you can imagine when you are going for multi-threaded worm, speed reduction reduces, and vice versa, efficiency increases. So low speed reduction, high efficiency, and high speed reduction, low efficiency. So here again, here is the diagram which shows you how many start. So this is a single start worm. This diagram is for double start worm. This is for triple start. 3 starts are given. And again, so number of threads on worm will be 3. Here will be 4. So number of thread increases, speed reduction decreases. Next is terminology of worm gears. So this is the fundamental dimensions of the worm gears Z1, Z2, Q and M, where Z1 is number of start on worm. Then number of teeth on worm wheel Z2. Q is diametral quotient, M is module. So now these two are in mm. These two are in mm. Q is D1 by M, where D1 is the pitch circle diameter of worm and D2 is the pitch circle diameter of worm wheel. M is module. Then preferred values of Q are 8, 10, 12.5, 16, 20 and 25. And Z1 is 1, 2 or 4. These are the usually used values. So again you can use this table. So if you are knowing transmission ratio or velocity ratio and center distance, then you can find out the fundamental dimensions of worm gears. Now what is actually transmission ratio? It is it is given by initial input to final output. Now in case of worm gear drive, transmission ratio and speed ratio is same, but in case of spur, helical and bevel gears, transmission ratio and speed ratio is different when we are going for multi-stages. If suppose you are going for multi-stages, then in that case, if suppose this will be input, this is one gear, another gear is attached to it. So if we are talking about this, then it is single stage. Speed is reduced in a single stage. But again, if you are connecting one more gear pair over here, then it will be a 2 stage. So this is for spur, helical and bevel. So transmission ratio is this speed upon this speed. Input speed upon initial input speed upon final input speed. Whereas speed ratio is this speed upon this speed. So this is different in case of speed ratio, and transmission ratio is different in case of spur, helical and bevel. Whereas in case of worm gear drive, we are dealing with simply single stage. So transmission ratio is nothing but your speed ratio. So if you are knowing transmission ratio and center distance, you can find out this fundamental. I hope you have understood this concept. Then next, this is the diagram which shows you worm wheel engaging with the worm. So this is the pitch cylinder of worm wheel, and this represents the pitch cylinder of worm. A is the center distance between these two. D2 is the diameter of worm wheel. D1 is the diameter of worm. So first definition is axial pitch. Now axial pitch is the distance measured from a point on one thread to the corresponding point on the adjacent thread along the worm axis. Now, if suppose these are the two threads, so this is the one point on the one thread, and this is the another adjacent. This is the same point on the adjacent thread. So this distance between these two along the worm axis now, that is axial pitch. And lead, it is given by thread advance in one turn. Means what? When the worm completes its one revolution, the distance covered by the thread. So here in the diagram, this is shown. This L represents the lead. If suppose thread is starting from this point, and when the worm completes, it reaches at this point. So this distance between these 2 points is lead. So for single start, this L will be equals to your axial pitch for a single start worm. Whereas for a multi-start worm, lead will be equals to axial pitch into Z1. So if suppose you are dealing with double start, it means lead will be twice of axial pitch, because in 2 revolutions, there will be 2 revolutions. So lead will be twice. And axial pitch will be half of lead, vice versa. D2 is given by MZ2, where Z2 is the number of teeth on worm bill. So number of start, recommended number of start, it depends on velocity ratio. So using this table you can select. So again, axial pitch, if suppose, now from the diagram, here we are seeing this P is nothing but the circular pitch on worm wheel, whereas this is axial pitch on worm. So in this diagram, axial pitch, you can say axial pitch is equals to circular pitch. So it is given by the formula, that is pi d by z. So here for worm wheel, pi d2 upon z2. Now we can substitute this this d2 and cancel out z2. So what remains? Pi m. So axial pitch can be given by pi m. Also, L can be written as pi m, substituting this px value, pi m into z1. Okay. Now next, again same diagram we are referring. Next terminology is lead angle. It is nothing but angle between the tangent to the thread at the pitch diameter. This is the tangent to the thread at the pitch diameter and a plane normal to the worm axis. This is the worm axis, and this is a plane which is normal to the worm axis. So angle subtended by this normal plane and tangent is nothing but lead angle. Okay, and what is actually this triangle? It is nothing but the developed surface of the thread. So we have learnt about development of curves. So when we are developing this thread, you are getting this triangle, or we can draw this triangle whose base is equals to lead, and this perpendicular distance is nothing but equals to circular pitch. It is circumference of worm, that is pi d1, circumference 2 pi r, that is pi d1. Okay, so from triangle you can say tan gamma can be written as opposite upon adjacent, that is L upon pi d1. So this is the formula for lead angle. Then L can be substituted as pi mz1 and d1 can be substituted as mq, diameter quotient into module. So pi m get cancelled out, and what remains is z1 by q. So tan gamma is z1 by q. Now helix angle. Helix angle is angle between the tangent to the thread and the worm axis. So it is given by this angle, that is psi. So the addition of lead angle and psi is nothing but, or addition of lead angle and helix angle is nothing but pi by 2. So helix angle should be limited to 6 degrees per thread. So for example, if your helix angle is 30 degrees, then the worm wheel should have at least 5 threads. Now Here is another diagram, single enveloping and double enveloping. So before that we will see pressure angle, that is alpha. Now it is measured in the plane containing axis of worm and it is half of thread angle. So this is a thread angle, this one is a thread angle which is given by twice of alpha. So pressure angle is half of this thread angle, so it is alpha simply. Now actually this diagram shows you two types of worm. This is straight worm and this is double enveloping worm. So here straight worm is there and here is a curved worm. So now when we are talking about single enveloping, it means what? Now here worm will envelopes over the worm. It completely or partially envelopes over the worm. So the contact between them is line contact, and they are also called as cylindrical worm or straight cylindrical worm. Then double enveloping worm. Here you can see that there is a curved portion on the worm. So worm envelopes on worm wheel and worm wheel also envelopes on worm. Both are curved, so both envelopes over each other or both tries to mesh with each other. So you can say area of contact will increase. So instead of line contact, here there is an area contact. So more surface is in contact, so it is area contact. So this is also called as hourglass and the drive is called as cone gearing. Okay, here we were talking about pressure angle. Now alpha, for single and double start worm, it should be less than 20 degree, whereas it should be less than 25 degree for multi-start. Next, center distance, it is given by half d1 plus d2 as we have seen in diagram. So d1 can be substituted as mq and d2 can be substituted as mz2. Again speed ratio, it is given by z2 by z1. This how we have finished with the terminology of the worm gear drives and the basics. So in the further video, we'll be discussing about the design of worm gear and the force analysis. Thank you.